Hello guys, this is a review of the movie She's the Man, which is one of my favorite comedies ever. I got this thing from Walmart. It's the 15th anniversary Blu-ray release, the first time ever that it's on Blu-ray according to the little sticker that came in the front. Like I said, I really like this movie. I had actually already reviewed it a while ago, but the camera was off, the audio was off, so I decided to do it again. I say this every time. I never do the movies justice with my lame reviews, but I try my best. And at the very least, I could do a better job than I did last time, right? So hopefully, this movie, Duke wants Olivia, who likes Sebastian, who is really Viola, whose brother is dating Monique. It sounds complicated, but I do a fantastic job at explaining this. Sarcasm alert. No, really, I'm gonna try my best. So this is, if you haven't seen it, I always recommend that you watch the movie first and then watch my reviews because I spoil everything. But if not, then I'll explain. This is Viola, right? This is Olivia. This is Viola's ex-boyfriend. This is Duke, and this is Monique. So just keep those characters in mind. Viola, played by Amanda Bynes, and actually, like at this point in time, Channing Tatum, who plays Duke, was not really that famous. Amanda had to, as according to Google, Amanda had to fight for him, which is pretty cool because now looking back, it's such a treat to see these two very good actors grace the screen in a teen comedy. But anyway, let me explain because it gets pretty confusing. Viola wants to be a soccer player, but they canceled her team. That's how the movie opens because not enough girls signed up for the soccer team, and Viola asks her coach if she could actually try out for the boys team. Sorry, and the coach is like, "No, girls are not as fast or as powerful as boys, so you can't do that." So she goes over to the team captain, which at that time was her boyfriend, that this guy that I mentioned, and he's like, "No, like the coach said it all, Viola. You can't join us." And she's like, "But you said just yesterday that I was better than half the guys on your team." He's like, "I never said that." And then she gets mad and dumps him. And then she goes home and she's obviously devastated, right? Her mom is really excited that she won't be playing soccer anymore because her mom wants her to be like a debutante. She wants her to be a little princess and mind her manners, etc. She doesn't care for dresses. She doesn't care for anything. She wants to play soccer. That's what she wants to do with her life. She goes over to her brother's room and she notices that he's packing and throwing his bags out the window. She's like, "Why don't you use the door?" And he tells her, "My band," because he wants to be a musician, is got a shot at a London festival. I think London. I might be mistaken, so don't quote me on that. But anyway, he's gonna like travel overseas somewhere. Um, and then obviously, um, she's like, "Why?" Like, the percentage of like musicians that make it to the big times, and he's like, "Probably more than or the same as female soccer players." So she covers for him, Viola, and she looks at a picture because her mom walks in. Is like, I thought I heard you talking to your brother," and she's like, "No, no, 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 on the phone." That's where I was talking to him over the phone. And she's like, "I can't believe like I have a daughter," and I'm paraphrasing, "that just wants to kick a muddy ball around. You might as well just be your brother." So she takes a look at the mirror and she sees that there's a picture of her brother right there. And she's like, "If you can't beat them, join them." So she goes with her friends to ask for help from their stylist friend to turn her into a man so that she could actually join the opposing team, go over to the school and pretend to be her brother. Because here's the thing, her brother got kicked out of high school, right? The one that he went to, I think it was the one with Viola. So now he's going over to the rival that they're going to play the soccer match against. And since they don't know him, they've never seen him, she figures that if she could just pretend to be a guy, pretend to be her brother, then she could join the team, make it, and beat them, and prove a point that women can, compete against other guys. At first, her friend is like reluctant. He's like, "Nah, I don't think that's a good idea." But he then accepts, transforms her into the character that we see here, and he starts his new school year there. And at first and I'm gonna call him him because I'm gonna call him Sebastian, but just know that Sebastian is really Viola. Sebastian is confronted with a lot of dirty looks, a lot of questioning, like there's a lot of funny scenes. He obviously is introduced now to Channing Tatum's character Duke and his other friends, and she learns about the tryouts. She goes ahead and does them, but um, doesn't really pass. I mean, sometimes it's not really a matter of passing or failing, but it's like you're gonna get benched, and she's not going to be an active player in the team, sadly, because she just doesn't have the stamina, the technique, the resistance that the other guys do. She's feeling really down in the dumps. She's unpopular. Nobody wants to be her friend. People think she's weird. I mean, aside from Olivia, this girl right here, she crashed into him earlier that day. I think was it no, I think it was after her tryouts anyway, but she's one of the only people there that really like Sebastian. Obviously she thinks that it's a real guy, but it's not. And Viola tells her stylist friend, I forgot his name, but he's like, come on, Paul, his name is Paul. She asks Paul, like, just come pick me up and remind me to never ever do something this stupid ever in my life again. So he's like, I don't know what to tell you about the whole soccer thing, but as to the popularity thing, he comes up with the plan of getting all of Viola's female friends to flirt with him in front of the guy friends so that they think that he's like a ladies' man and whatever. And it actually works out until Monique shows up, which is Sebastian's real girlfriend, and he breaks up with her. And then everybody's like clapping and everything. From that point on, everybody loves Sebastian. They just really respect him. And he's in science class, right? Yeah, I think it's science, anatomy, um something under the branch of science and or health. And he gets paired up with Olivia, and Duke has a crush on Olivia. So he comes up with a plan. He's like, what, compromise. Like, you talk to her about, well, it's not really a compromise. You talk to her about me, try to get her to date me, and I will train you so you could become good enough to make it to, what do they call it? First string, yeah. And she's like, all right, you got a deal. So throughout the whole movie, Viola's main point or main goal, aside from making it to first league, is to first string, sorry, for first league, is to get Olivia to date Duke. But Olivia feels like he's just another jock that just doesn't really care and whatever. So that goes on, but eventually Olivia realizes that Sebastian is just not into her. So she comes up with a plan to date Duke in order to make Viola jealous. And there's like, there's so much to say about this. There was a time while they were still in class where she read Sebastian's lyrics, but it's obviously not Viola's, it's Sebastian. And when Sebastian came early from his um, trip, he got kissed by Olivia, and Duke saw all of that, so he thought that it was actually Viola as Sebastian who did that, but it wasn't him, it was the real Sebastian. And in the end, in the soccer game, everybody gets naked, and not everybody, but like Viola and Sebastian, the real ones, they show everyone that they're really who they are, and they give Viola a chance to prove herself. She plays and she wins the game, well, along with her team. And Duke is still butthurt, so she sends over a little gift and a little note inviting him to the I think it's, what is it, the ceremony, the debutante ceremony. And he finally shows up and they make out, and then it cuts to a scene where they're playing soccer all lovey-dovey and stuff. So there's like so much to say, like I would never finish. It would take me hours to explain everything, but that's basically the whole premise of the movie. I still to this day, like, the songs used in the movie, like from the opening scene, amazing. The scene where they're playing soccer and she Amanda Bynes' character is like backing up on the coach, and the coach is like very strict, like um very manly dude. He that's a really funny scene. The Like I said, the music is so fitting in every single scene where they used like an actual song. Amazing, amazing. I always enjoyed so much for the acting, for the directing, for the writing, for the music, for it's just everything is just so fantastic. Actually, the first time this movie, I don't know if you could tell, but it's all like all beaten up. Sorry, because I got it from the $5 bin at Walmart many years ago. I remember buying it, just thinking, okay, like just like some attractive characters. It might be like a pretty solid comedy. I wasn't expecting too much. I was a teenager back then, and I watched it and I wasn't too impressed because I was expecting something completely different. And then I rewatched it with my mom and she loved it. Then I rewatched it with a cousin, he loved it. Then I rewatched it with a friend and they loved it. And then I realized, well, after the first time I rewatched it, I was like, there might be something more to this movie than I thought. It's because sometimes when you build up these expectations and these ideas of what the movie is going to be about and you don't get that, even though you get a better formula, you kind of push to a side because you didn't get what you were expecting, right? And I'm sure that's what happened with me with this movie, but then I learned to appreciate it for what it was, and I think that it's so solid. I really prefer this movie over Mean Girls, and they get compared a lot, and I understand that Mean Girls came before it. I like Mean Girls, it's okay, but this is just, in my opinion, a lot better because, and I'm gonna do a review of Mean Girls in the future, hopefully, but that one is so like exaggerated. This is very very campy, yes, but Mean Girls is like some things that I just can't identify with. Like I could never see it actually playing out in real life, and this one I could see a lot of it. Obviously, maybe not with such a strong humorous background into everything that's going on, but um all in all, I do see it happening, which is why I appreciate this one. It's just a lot more homely to me, more like appealing, and more obviously with a lot more genuine laughs. Um, well, my laughs, it's kind of subjective. Not everybody's gonna laugh at the same things, but yeah, I still quote this movie a lot. There's one of my favorite scenes is when Olivia is trying to make Sebastian jealous. He's like, Viola rushes over. He's like, you know what, Olivia? I was thinking about it, and I think that maybe you and Duke is probably not a good idea after all. He's like, oh really? No, like, and did you see him in those shorts? Woo! And then Viola's like, he's not a piece of meat, Olivia. He's a man with feelings. And it's funny because it's like those little twitches. Like Olivia's like, obviously this is Sebastian, right? This is the guy, and she's like, and I'm a woman with feelings. It's really funny. There's also another character called Eunice, and she's so funny. She like plays like the nerdy type, with like I don't know what they're called, like dental wires things going on, and I think she has asthma because she breathes very heavy. But yeah, she's very very funny. There are so many things, like I said, so many lines. I'm kind of blinking out right now, but there's like more than a couple of lines that I use every now and again because they're so memorable and so fitting for a lot of things, a lot of like real life situations. It's such a fun movie. It has fight scenes. I love the fight scenes where the guys fight, but the girls fight. It's really nice. It sucks, what happened to Amanda Bynes during like a few years ago when she had a bit of mental struggles going on. But I'm glad that she's doing better. I hear that she graduated from fashion school, if I'm not mistaken. She wants to go back into acting, as far as I know. Well, based on her last interview. I also heard that she's in a conservatorship, not unlike Britney Spears. And it's such a touchy topic, like, you never really know how much help they need. Because it's obviously easy, like, give them their freedom. Sure, amazing, always. always give a person, respect them, protect their dignity, but at the same time, not everybody's equipped to handle, life itself. Some people like have very, very ingrained tough inner demons that they can't battle with alone. They need the help, they need the medication, they need the supervision, they need the therapy. So I can't really talk about that, but I feel like she's doing well based on what I've seen, and I'm very glad because she's a talent, amazing talent. I don't know if you watched her from like Nickelodeon, but like I didn't watch Nickelodeon every day, but I did catch a few clips from her. She was amazing. She was handed as a very young girl. Everyone here did a fantastic job in their respective roles. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I keep talking about it over and over and over. I've watched this movie with my siblings. It's like rated PG-13. It has its heavy moments, and it says for some sexual material, true, but I don't think it's like so dirty. No, it's not. Any I think 6 to your deathbed old, you could you could enjoy this movie, I think. But obviously, if you're like if you're a parent, you're like, oh, I don't want my kid, then just be there to explain certain things that you feel deserve explaining. But all in all, it's so amazing. I think it's for a lot of people, not just teenagers. I enjoyed it. Obviously, I keep enjoying it. I've watched this movie probably like I don't know, probably like 60 times, around 60 times. Yeah, I mean, I have a movie collection. This is what I do. And I would give it a rating of 10 out of 10 in its category. I'm pretty sure I'm leaving out a lot. Like, there's so many funny scenes, too many to mention. Amazing movie. Really fun, not outdated at all. Like I said, 10 out of 10 in its category. And that's it. Thank you for watching.